Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete, first down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
From Timothy J. Hank Memorial Field in Sayville, Suffolk County. Tonight, the Varsity Media Sports Network presents this Suffolk Division III showdown between the visiting Hurricanes of Westhampton Beach and the Golden Flashes of Sayville. Good evening, everyone. Dylan Butler here with Mike Hungerford in a game that is brought to you by Orland and Cohen. Mike, we were here a year ago. Different teams, obviously, on both sides. First for Westhampton Beach, they are a team that is almost devoid of seniors. You've got a handful on the entire team, 3 starting on defense. So as coming in as a preseason 6 seed, maybe not a lot of expectations out in Westhampton Beach, but they have delivered in a big way, kind of punching above their weight.
Sure, a very good, traditionally good program at Westhampton Beach, and coming in as 6, and all of a sudden here you are in week 7, and you're in a really good spot, and maybe overachieving a little bit, but maybe just kids just playing up to their potential on top of it.
Yeah, Westhampton Beach coming off their first loss of the season, 45-33 to Hills West. Hills West is one of 2 undefeated teams remaining in Suffolk Division III. Sayville is the other. For Westhampton Beach, again, it's a young team, a lot of juniors in this starting lineup. That includes our impact players on both sides of the ball. Actually, on the offensive side of the ball, we'll show them now. Offensively, Andrew Mensch. This is a guy, yes, he's a junior, but he is very experienced. Probably the second best or 1B on the offensive and defensive line to Noah Hebard. He's going to have to play some of his best ball today. And for Luke Kilroy in that middle linebacker spot, you see his numbers, 38 tackles on the year, squats 335, right? He runs the 4.6 40. So he will be a big impact player defensively for the Hurricanes tonight.
Sure, there'll be some collisions between him and the stars from Sayville. And, of course, on the line, you're not going to get much done offensively. You can talk all you want about receivers, quarterbacks, or running backs, but the offensive line's got to get guys blocked. And Mensch will be a big part of that, trying to get that done tonight.
In our conversation with both teams, Westhampton, as you see them now making their way onto the field, their head coach, Brian Schomloffel, said about Sayville is Sayville. Right? And it's never truer words have been spoken. This is a team, you change the names, and it's still greatness in Suffolk Division III. They are 34-2 in their last 4 seasons. That includes a perfect 6-0 at this point. They had the big rivalry win a week ago, beating East Islip 36-15. And they are the number 1 seed, and they are acting like the number 1 seed.
Sure, and I was here pretty early, and you watch them warm up, and you know some of the names of who was supposed to be who, but they could have been guys from a bunch of years ago. Just they all do the same thing. They all look alike. They can throw it, they can catch it, they can run with it, and they can block. And high-scoring offense, and something that's been around Sayville for a long time, is high-level quarterback play, skill position guys, and we'll probably see a lot of that tonight.
Let's take a look at these Sayville players to watch on both sides of the ball, and household names around this area. Obviously, their sophomore running back, Kyle Messina. What a year he's had. A year ago, a Hanson Award nominee. We expect him to again contend for that. 114 carries, 910 yards. Just absolutely thick, explosive. Everything that you'd want in a running back, and Benny Sands is everything that you want in a linebacker. Certainly, he wears that number 9, a number we'll talk more about as this broadcast goes along. There you see it, 49 tackles, 4 for a loss for the Franklin and Marshall commit. Also, the Collada Award runner-up a year ago. Doing that as a junior, that's for the best linebacker in Suffolk County. We expect him to, again, be a favorite this year.
Sure, you mentioned before, Dylan, that we were here a year ago to watch the same matchup, and I walked away. Anybody I could talk to, I talked about Messina and Sands, about how good I thought of high school football players they were. And sometimes, winning high school football games is not about having monstrous people and guys that are doing this and all this and that. A guy like Benny Sands is just a really good high school football player and can do it all offensively, defensively, on special teams. And, of course, Messina is a special, special talent.
You see Sands wearing that number 9, no name on the back. Again, we'll talk more about why that number is so important here at Sayville High School. Some keys for both teams. First, for Westhampton Beach. Maybe a little bit easier said than done. Tackle and try to contain Messina. Very important for them. They said if that happens, if they're able to do that, at least in some respect, you've got to put pressure on Jake Triptree, the Sayville quarterback. Also limit our mistakes and capitalize in the red zone, something they struggled to do a week ago in that loss to Hills West. For Sayville, handle Westhampton Beach's motion up front, expecting a lot of blitzes from the Hurricanes. Conversely, the Golden Flashes want to blitz effectively as well, and then they expect Westhampton to air it out a little bit as well, so you want to ground their aerial attack.
Sure, I think what makes Sayville so difficult to defend is their ability to run and pass equally as well. We've seen a few teams this year doing very good offensive teams. They're able to do both those things pretty equally. So if you're Westhampton Beach, you got to win on early downs. You got to get them in 2nd and long, 3rd and long situations.
Here's a good look across the way here from the press box to the Westhampton Beach team. We will take a quick break for the anthem, and we'll have the opening kickoff when we return. You're watching this Suffolk Division III Showdown presented by Orland & Cohn on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Land of the free. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free is a land of liberty. 'Cause the land of the free
All right, terrific stuff here. National anthem sung, and we are just about set. Mike Hungerford for some football between these two teams. As we mentioned at the start, we thought perhaps this was going to be one of those undefeated teams collision courses, and it didn't quite work out that way with Westhampton obviously suffering that loss in week 6. Those guys, though, have been perfect on the season. And as we said, 34-2 in the last 4 seasons for Reed Sands and the Golden Flashes.
Very impressive consistency, right? Big fan of consistency, and very hard to do in high school sports, and just keep kids graduate, kids move on, especially since coming out of the pandemic, Dylan, and kids having to go through, maybe not as many kids playing or feeling committed to athletics, but here, Sayville just keeps motoring on.
They absolutely do just that. We were here a year ago. It was another Friday night as well, and Sayville had a big 35-6 win in that one. Kyle Messina, a big day on the ground, 22 carries for 162 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Benny Sands, big day defensively with 7 tackles, 3 for a loss, 1 forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Thomas Golia as well with a 24-yard scoop and score for Sayville. The Golden Flashes will kick off, and we are underway. Ball received at the 30, a short return, and the Westhampton Beach offense will take to the field as there is a flag, I believe, that was thrown.
Might have a face mask here, Dylan.
You can see it there by the 40-yard line. A referee, Michael Scavo. Some offsetting penalties between the two. So emotions high early on, and Will Gambino, you see him there, number 9. There he is. Going to lead the Westhampton Beach team out. First-year starter, a heady player, 71 of 124 is Will Gambino, completing 57% of his passes. 875 yards in the air, 13 TDs. Most impressively there, a 13-to-1 ratio from TD to interception. 1st and 10 from the 40, and Gambino's first pass is complete to Kevin Smith right over midfield for a Westhampton Beach first down.
Dylan, both quarterbacks on both teams have excellent numbers statistically. A few mistakes, and you see a little RPO action right there coming right out of the gate.
Trips right. Handoff goes to Nolan Michalowski, and Michalowski gets a few yards on first down. Let's take a look at the Westhampton Beach starters on offense. Their starting lineup presented by Body Armor. You've got Gambino up front, Michalowski back from injury, Smith and Hill, as well as LaRusso, your other wide receivers. Jordan Brown is your tight end. Big boys up front, Blows, O'Connor, Hebert, McDermott, and Mensch. A pass out to the 40-yard line will be just shy of the first down marker. It is Kevin Smith, again, who is the receiver. Let's take a look at the starting defense now for Sayville, presented by Body Armor. It's Brett, Golio, Bonfanti, and Byrne up front. Neugebauer, Sands, Messina are your linebackers. Morioni, Cataldi, Milo, and Pierce in the secondary. Another run up the middle. Michalowski gets the extra push needed, and it looks like he will move the chains.
Real close there, Dylan. I think so, but
a lot of pointing going on, and there you see as well by Scavo, the white hat, moving the chains. Good first drive for Westhampton Beach.
Very crisp here coming out. Seems to know exactly what they want to do, how to attack the Sayville defense. A few RPOs, a couple straight run plays.
Gambino back to pass, and really good defending there. The intended target was T.J. Hill, and it was Benny Pierce knocking the ball down.
Great defensive play right there, but there's your slant RPO right off the get-go. Slant or shallow post RPO, you might want to describe it as, with a run-pass option with a quarterback reading, making a decision whether he's giving the football, the lineman are blocking a run play. They don't know what's happening behind them. He decided to pull the ball and throw it, but great defense right there.
2nd and 10. Gambino loses it, and he falls down. Fortunate for him, because obviously Sayville were coming hard. It was Joey Byrne in on him, and we'll take a look again. First mistake so far for Westhampton.
Looks like the back got in the way. It kind of got in the way a little. He was going to throw it. It slipped out of his hand a little bit. Just a little bit of, not really lined up correctly on that one. Or maybe some early game jitters.
Yeah, it went off of Michalowski, it looked like. So 3rd and 18 now from the 46-yard line. Another quick slant. Smith again. And there is that RPO you mentioned before.
They were empty right there. It's just straight, straight quick throw, get it out quick. Be able to bring in Sayville was bringing an extra man, an extra blitzer. They picked it up and tried to get a little run after catch right there. Gives them a more manageable 4th and 9 as opposed to a 3rd and about 17. So that was a nice pickup. Ball's on the 38 though. I mean, this is where the coaches get paid the big bucks to make these decisions. Are you going to go for it? Are you going to punt? Try to pin Sayville deep. Looks like right now they look at the sidelines like they're going to go for it here.
And it appears now the punt team will come on. And looks like they're going to look for some field position here. Maybe angle a punt for Sayville, perhaps inside their own 10-yard line. Snap is good. It's a short punt. Fair catch is called at the 10-yard line.
I kind of like that right there. They kept the offense on for a second, waited. When they discussed it, I knew they were going to punt right away. Kind of kept the Sayville defensive group on. Sayville wasn't able to run a return group on, and they just get a short punt and pin him pretty at 10-yard line. So they're able to flip the field a little bit, Westhampton, and now Sayville's got a long way to go and needs to be mistake-free here deep in their own end.
Jake Triptree, you see him there, number 16. He's your starting quarterback, a position that is revered certainly here in Sayville. We'll talk more about that as well. The junior, 70 of 111, 63% completion, 1,191 yards, 15 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions on the year for Jake Triptree, a heady QB. First run goes to the right. It was Messina getting a few yards. Let's take a look at the starting offense for Sayville. It's Triptree, Messina, Morioni, Hanson, Cataldi. Benny Sands is your tight end. Up front, it's Higgins, Perez, Bonfanti, Christensen, and Liniak. A gain of 1 on first down for Messina.
Hey, Wes Sands is a tight end, but he's a little bit of everything. Dylan, yeah. He's your adjuster. He plays that H-back role, and people want to call him a sniffer, a Y-off, a lot of different names for that kind of position. Sometimes he'll be an inline tight end.
Triptree finds a receiver. It's Luke Hansen across the middle, and he gets out. It looks like to the 26-yard line to move the chains for the Golden Flashes.
Beautiful pass right there with that ball delivered nice right there, Dylan, or what? Tight spiral, right on the right spot, very catchable, boom. There it is.
Hansen, a great route runner, the junior, 8 receptions for 59 yards and a score coming into this game.
I was very impressed. As I mentioned before, Dylan, I was here early. Both quarterbacks throw the ball very well in warm-ups.
And there is Triptree, and he gets a first down of his own. Let's take a look at the Westhampton Beach starting defense presented by Body Armor. It's Fracapane, Hebert, Mensch, and Brown up front. Hill, Kilroy, and McDermott as your linebackers. LaRusso, Amadimo, Miller, and Smith in the secondary. So we saw a situation there for Triptree. He does have 32 carries for 254 and 2 touchdowns, but he's not been asked to really run the ball a lot this year. We expect to see more of that as the season goes along. 1st and 10 for the 38-yard line. Tucking the ball under and getting past the 40-yard line is Kyle Messina.
Well, I think you have to break tendency somewhere, right? Tendency is going to be for Kyle Messina to get the ball and get it a lot. So to try to offset that and balance it up, you have the passing game, and then maybe you have the quarterback run game kind of thrown in to balance up Messina touching it so much.
Well, there's no doubt, Mike, that Messina is the guy every team wants to try to stop, right? So you game plan for him, but that's what makes the Sayville team so good. You've got multiple other options. If you try to take away option number one, that ball deflected and nearly intercepted. Luke Kilroy dove for the football that was deflected, but it hit the turf first.
Mark, they're running a slant or a quick hitch there. Ball was deflected.
So 3rd and 8 from the 40-yard line.
Now, if Westhampton could stop him here and force a punt, they'll probably get the ball back in pretty good field position. Sayville's been able to get 2 first downs here and, maybe almost come close to flipping the field.
Westhampton showing perhaps blitz, which is something Sayville has expected from them. Now they back off. Triptree, the pressure comes, rolls out of it, down the sideline. That's complete. Morioni, a fantastic grab.
You see some of Triptree's ability right there. They showed blitz, they backed out, so it was a little bit of a, trying to create a little confusion. I think his original read was covered, and Maroney just continued his route up the field, up the sideline, and got him open. Well thrown ball.
Morioni, extremely difficult to cover 1-on-1. 25 receptions on the year, just shy of 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. Flags on the play.
By the look of it, it looks like Sayville with a little hard count.
An encroachment penalty on Westhampton Beach. So this will push Sayville 5 yards up the field.
You don't want to help Sayville out. You don't help Sayville out too much if you're Westhampton. They're very good offensively, and if you're an offensive coordinator at Sayville and you're the offensive coaches, 1st and 5 sounds really good to you. You got a lot of plays you can run. Basically, you have 4 downs to get 5 yards here to get a first down. A lot of things are wide open for you right now.
You've got Morioni at the bottom of your screen. Handoff to Messina, and he is hit hard. Good job by big number 55. We mentioned him at the start. Andrew Mensch coming in at 6'2", 250. He is, along with Hebert, in that defensive tackle duo, the strength of this defensive line.
Yeah, he did a good job of getting his hands, getting extension, throwing the blocker, and making a play on Messina. Good looking play for a defensive lineman right there.
2nd and 5, so no gain there on first down. There you see Messina to Triptree's left. Handoff again. Nice hole for Messina to barrel himself past or right near that first down marker. It'll be just shy. So
I need all 4 downs, but they're working on it here. Something you definitely go for on 4th down too. So you have probably looking at 2 downs. Wouldn't Bright be surprised Dylan there? Maybe he's some kind of an RPO or maybe some kind of play action pass.
Triptree hands off to Messina. What a heady play there. A flag is late, but what you saw from Messina there, Mike, he went towards his first option, saw that close, bounced it to the outside, and this will be a holding penalty against the Golden Flashes. Looks to be against Christensen, the right guard.
Yeah, like any great back, Messina's got tremendous vision. Trying to find the place to go. Where do you cut to? Do I cut early? Do I cut late? And he also has the ability, once he puts his foot in the ground, to get north and south, square his pads, and then deliver contact. What I was impressed with last year, Dylan, was he was always going forward. He was always gaining an extra yard, as opposed to maybe losing yardage and delivering that contact. So
yeah, I mean, to your point, Reed Sand says he's got like that NFL or college lean, right, where he's always going to get those extra couple of yards. The holding penalty sets up a 3rd and 12, and additional flags are thrown. And this will appear to be a false start against the offense. So the Golden Flashes are moving backwards here once they got close to the red zone.
Never a good thing when the guy in stripes walks through your huddle, you know. It's not a good situation. And a couple plays in a row put him now in third and almost, 18-19 right now, right?
Yeah, they are back at their own 34-yard line.
You might have 2 downs to work with here still if you Sayville, so maybe try to get half.
Triptree. Oh, Morioni was in and out of the hands, and you saw that, Mike. He was trying to make the play before the ball was in his hands, and an incomplete pass sets up a 4th and 18.
Yeah, it's coming out of that RPO type look where, fake that run play to the right and pull it out of and throw it left.
Guess what? Another flag. And this will be declined.
Every week I think, that the teams have to play the game according to how the game is officiated. How closely it's being officiated, and they're calling certain things. Right now it appears like it's being pretty closely officiated, so they're going to have to adjust a little bit where they put their hands and what they do, blocking-wise along the way.
You've got your 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen. At the top of your screen, solo, is Morioni. 4th and 18, first big play to this point. Triptree, good block by Messina, but he was taken down, hit hard, and it was number 4 with the sack, Nolan Michalowski.
What the people try to term a bit of a coverage sack there, right, Dylan? On the bottom of the screen, they had 3 over 3. It was a pretty good situation. You can't really empty the box. I don't care what the yardage is when you have Messina standing there, but they had 2 over 1 on the single, and I think his read was taken away, so it was a bit of a coverage situation, and they were able to get him on the ground. I don't think even if he had ran, he was getting first down yardage, so a good stop by the Westhampton defense.
So Westhampton will take over on their 35-yard line, 1st and 10, as their junior QB. You see him there, Will Gambino, with Michalowski behind him. A fumble, it looked like.
Low snap.
And we'll take a look again at the QB, Will Gambino. Heady player, coachable, throws a nice ball, as you referenced earlier, a good leader as well. He's that general in command of things on the field, also that high quality, kid, pretty much everything you want to have in a guy who is the QB.
Sure, very much so. I was very impressed in warm-ups how good he looked throwing the ball. What a great catchable ball he threw.
Throws one out towards his own sideline. That was complete to TJ Hill. Oh, an incomplete pass, excuse me. Hill was the intended target, and maybe you might have heard the footsteps there as Pierce was coming.
Better off having that be incomplete if you're Westhampton in the scheme of things. Trying to throw one of those now screens right there, and it came off the block, unblocked, and pretty big collision.
3rd and 13. Gambino, and more flags are thrown. Our referee, Michael Scavo, is a busy man here in this first quarter. And this will be an encroachment penalty against the defense, so this will push Westhampton Beach up 5 yards.
They're walking up and coming with an edge blitz right there and some action. Kind of got a little anxious. Looks like right now they brought number 42 on the defensive line there, Tamari.
Yeah, Tamari Jackson. He comes in on those 3rd and long situations. Gambino, complete, but good pursuit there. It was complete to Michalowski, but certainly hit well short or well shy of the first down.
Good looking play right there for Westhampton, but it was 2 downs a little too late, right? They had the bad snap on the first play and then an incomplete on the second play, so puts them in a punting situation. But they're on the 40, almost the 47, with a decent punt here and some coverage. They might be able to pin the Sayville guys in a pretty good situation.
Punt is high, and it is fair caught by Morioni. So the Sayville offense will step back onto the field. When we spoke with their head coach, Reed Sands, in his 6th season out of New Utrecht High School, in 1993 graduate, he said, listen, they kind of put the pressure on us at the start of the year, giving us the preseason #1 seed, but listen, they are right where they want to be, or where they expected to be, or hope to be at 6-0. They were fortunate maybe with the schedule makers early on to give them some winnable games when some guys who are looking to get that varsity experience, they were able to get it in winning games, and now it's the big part of the season. To the outside is Cataldi. Cataldi down the sideline, and he's forced out of bounds by Kevin Smith. A big reception by Anthony Cataldi.
That ball was put on target, and it was there in a hurry.
I love this block upfield as well. Here it is, Hansen, #1.
Trying a little hitch action right there, just squaring it up, delivering the ball on time. Great job by the quarterback right there, just in rhythm, catch, snap, turn, throw.
Reed Sands is your offensive coordinator for Sayville, a long-time defensive coordinator, 18 years in that position when Rob Haas was the head coach. Haas is now the QB's coach. There is Messina diving forward at the end. You mentioned that lean. That was a little bit of it, right? Where he gets a couple extra yards and he gets really close to the 20.
I like what they did with Sands there. They use him to lock the backside. So instead of in a typical zone read play, the quarterback would be reading that end man on the line of scrimmage to pull it or give it. Instead, they block with Sands. They close it up. They just give it, and he gets a nice run play out of it without having to offer up your quarterback to possibly have to run the football. Sands is that do everything guy.
100%. And what a great football family that is as well. Reed is his dad, and we'll talk more about the Sands as this broadcast goes along. Man in motion was Hansen. Handoff. Messina lowers the shoulder, and he gets inside the red zone to about the 16-yard line.
Similar play again, just using that motion man to give him an extra blocker at the point of attack and have Sands kind of clean up the backside.
Good job there by the center, right? Vin Bonfanti. Got to help him out with the shoulder pad a little bit, get that inside, make sure we take care of Kyle a little bit.
Mention the center. The center's always the guy that only gets mentioned when it goes bad, right?
100%.
Meanwhile, it's not an easy job, especially everyone's playing out of the shotgun these days. Everyone's out of that spot, and a big part of it is putting that ball on the quarterback's hands for the rhythm between the exchange and the riding of the running back, and so expectations.
Triptree, Morioni, little stutter step, and he's forced out of bounds. But yeah, listen, Bonfanti, the center, number 71, the strongest on the team. They call him Ox, right? Bono, great feet, also starting D tackle, and he's the key to this offensive line. When you hear Reed Sands talk about it, it was about getting Bonfanti to play center because he just complements all the pieces around him on both sides of him, on the left and the right side as well.
Sure, in modern today's football, people are in odd fronts, even fronts. If you're playing against teams that play a lot of odd front with a nose guard or a shaded nose, your center's got to be able to block guys. And if the center is good enough to block one-on-one in those situations, you'll be really good on your offensive line, and he certainly fits that bill. 1st
and goal from the 10. Triptree, look out, pull down, and there is the big man, Noah Hubbard.
Heber kept working right there, and I think his initial read was covered. And take a look at the replay.
Watch 77 right there.
Yep, you had like a bit of a switcher out there. You had a slant and a flag kind of combo route there, and they took kind of that slant away he was looking for with that dropping backer.
Hubbard, 20 tackles, 3 sacks coming in. Add one there as well, and a big one to close out this first quarter. Suffolk 3 here under the lights out in Sayville. And it is Sayville and Westhampton scoreless. You're watching this Suffolk 3 showdown presented by Erlin & Cone Orthopedics on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist, making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
How about that sky for you, Mike Hungerford? Beautiful night, beautiful fall evening here in Sayville, out in the south shore of Suffolk County. It is scoreless here after 1.
Football weather right here, Dylan.
Yeah.
Crisp, not cold, just cool. Cool enough for you, a little something on, a little hoodie, a little vest, a little jacket, right? Watch the game. If you're wearing gloves, not feeling you. Players can wear gloves, fans, not yet.
Your fashion report brought to you now. 2nd and 25, or 2nd and goal from the 25, I should say, at the start of this second quarter. Big play by Hebert. We saw before with the sack. On a junior-heavy team, he's one of the few starting seniors. Defensively, you start 3 seniors. He is one of them. Triptree calls his own number, and a good carry there to set up a more manageable 3rd down. And again, it is 3rd and goal, though, for the Golden Flashes.
There's your tendency breaker again, right?
Yeah.
Run the zone read, pull the ball. They're bending there. The end man is bending towards Messina, which everybody probably would. Keep the ball and get north-south with the quarterback.
So here we go, 3rd and goal from the 11-yard line for Sayville. Messina up the middle, and he is pulled down again. 77 Hebert.
Good play by Hebert again. 2 of the last 3 downs.
You got 77 and 55 right in the middle, right? Those are your run-clogging guys at D tackle, and Hebert has done that job.
Some good size in there. Thick people. High school level. If you're 250 plus in high school, that's a big, thick defensive lineman.
And he moves really well. 4th and goal, and a timeout is called by Sayville. As we have here throughout the fall, we wanted to thank certainly the folks at the Yes Network app. Varsity Media is excited to be teaming up with the Yes Network app to bring high school football games to more fans. Our broadcasts are now simulcast on the Yes Network app. Welcome in to all the folks at the Yes Network app. Also, a reminder for everybody, your home for everything that's not game day, right? And maybe even game day as well. It's Varsity Media Pass. VarsityMediaPass.com. Top 10 plays, highlights, podcast interviews, season previews, all that right there on Varsity Media Pass. You've got a big slate of games here as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We'll be at Mitchell Athletic Complex for more Catholic and St. Francis Prep. That'll be Saturday night. I'll be on the call for that one. Manhasset and Plain Edge next Friday. New Hyde Park and undefeated Garden City. And then it's St. Peter's and Christ the King back in the Catholic Football League.
Next weekend, Dylan, week 8. You're looking at Plain Edge and Garden City, if all goes well this week, to be playing for 8-0 next week. So, exciting games.
And you can make the argument, Sayville perhaps as well, with maybe a battle of undefeated teams with Hills West. Triptree rolls right, throws towards the end zone, and that is incomplete. Benny Sands, the intended receiver. And maybe some miscommunication. You see Sands kind of motioning his arm out like, you're supposed to slant this way and I'm supposed to slant that way.
Well, I think, Triptree started to move a little bit in the pocket. There was a little bit of pressure. He started to roll a little bit to keep the play alive. And that's when some improv comes into play, right? Some end-zone improv. And maybe they got in each other's way right there. But once again, penalties, little miscues here and there, but some good defensive plays mixed in by Westhampton, and they're able to get a stop. Keep this 0-0. Kind of getting the feeling, Dylan. Teams are pretty, in some ways, evenly matched.
Yeah.
And where's the first big mistake going to come from,
Well, philosophically, you speak to both head coaches, and they both say the other is so fundamentally sound. They tackle, they block, they kind of do all those things you've got to do to be a quality football team. The run goes outside, and it was Michalowski, number 4. Michalowski, what a great story he is. His uncles, his father, his grandfather, they all wore that Westhampton Beach uniform. The Michalowskis, they go back to the 60s playing for Westhampton Beach. Here's Gambino over the top, looking for Smith, and overthrows his intended receiver. Back to Michalowski, a tough kid, a wrestler. Shifty as well, pretty quick. You combine that hard-nosed mentality, being quick as well, and there you see number 4, Michalowski. What a great legacy of high school football the Michalowskis are.
See, Westhampton now is pretty deep in their own territory on first down. Didn't get much. Second down, they have incomplete pass. Kind of third and long. You got a little off schedule right now. If you deal with, if they punted from here, Sayville would probably have pretty good field position to work off of. So, each huddle with the timeout here, the Sayville guys are talking about, let's get a stop, create a long field, and if you're Westhampton, try to get a first down, right?
One of the stars early on in this game is Noah Hebard. He's in that huddle somewhere, number 77. You see him there behind 57. How about we get to know Noah Hebard? He's awarded that Corey Hubbard, number 12. We'll talk more about that. I asked him his favorite seafood dish. Figured he's out in the Westhampton, right? They're big on their seafood linguine with clam sauce. On the game day playlist, Master of Puppets by Metallica.
That's good.
Favorite movie/TV show, The Hangover, and Impractical Jokers. And actually, I'm going to tease this a little bit. There's a The Hangover movie theme, not a hangover, but the Hangover movie theme as we look ahead at the getting to know the Sayville player later on in this broadcast.
Okay. We'll look for that
little tease for you folks.
Yeah. I like the heavy metal lean for the offensive lineman. Defensive lineman, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
And how can you not go wrong with a little linguine and clam sauce, right?
Carb it up. A little bit of protein. Carb it up.
I trust the 6 foot 250 center as well. Gambino. Ball kind of bobbles a little bit. LaRusso was the receiver. And looks like maybe shaking up a little bit there was Morioni, 7. But the punting team coming on now for Westhampton. And this is, as you said, right? You get the stop if you're Sayville, and now this should set you up for some really good field position.
Yeah, big win for Sayville in that series, right? You get a 3 and out. The clock moves very little on 2 incompletions, and you should probably get the ball in real good field position. Not really too windy out there tonight.
Punt from the end zone. Morioni's got to back up a little bit, fields it at the 48-yard line, run towards his own sideline, looking to get to cut inside. And he makes a really good return as well. He's inside the 30-yard line of Westhampton Beach.
I like the blocking there by Luke Hansen, number 1. Got an initial touch, helped Morioni kind of turn the corner to the wide side of the field there. And then as he started to lose his man, he didn't do what we see on TV a lot, on Sundays, is push that guy right in the back. He didn't do it and remain penalty free, and Sayville's got great field position.
Second time already in this first half we've talked about Luke Hansen's blocking ability. And that's a super important thing to have as a wide receiver and as a junior as well. There's the handoff. Good cut between a couple of defenders for Hansen. And he, again, gets the lean, gets inside the 25-yard line. And there is a good look at Luke Hansen. one of those great route runners. They get open on every play, not because they just are running a route, because they all trust in Triptree's ability to find them. Maybe when that first read is not there.
Well, the vast majority of long run plays usually comes from a wide receiver getting a touch and added blocking.
2nd and 5. Triptree goes across the field, finds Morioni, cuts inside, and he'll get the first down and a little bit more as well. Good stuff there from the senior. Came into this game, we mentioned before, 25 receptions for nearly 500 yards. And the book a little bit from what Reed Sands says, we let him catch the ball short and let him go from there. That's exactly what we see here, Mike Hungerford.
Sure, they had, it's 3 over 2 for Sayville, but one defender's way on the inside. They throw a little now screen out there where they get it to his hands early, and his goal was just make one guy miss, right, and get upfield before the third defender can get in the screen and get a whole bunch of chunk yardage right there just on run after catch.
1st and 10 from the 15 for Sayville. It's Messina again in the backfield. And we mentioned before, in addition to Sands being your offensive coordinator, you got Rob Haas coaching the QBs and the corners as well. There's Messina getting towards the end zone, and he's in. Kyle Messina. A 15-yard touchdown run gives Sayville the lead.
Good old momentum right there, kind of on Sayville's side right there, right? They take a little walk, come over the ball, check the defense, shift to a good play right there. And you can see right here just running to the tight end side, to the close side, into the boundary.
And how about the
kick out block by the tight end right there?
Yeah, Jackson Neugebauer. That's what I was about to mention. Number 14 you saw there with the block, allowing Messina to get in. 15-yard touchdown for Kyle Messina. His 18th touchdown of the season. And Owen Burke's PAT is up and good. So early lead here for Sayville, thanks to Kyle Messina's 15-yard touchdown.
Messina's like one of those great backs. When they get close to the end zone and they think they can get there, it kind of seems like they get bigger, right? They smell it. They're getting close to that end zone. They're like, I got 5 yards to go. They accelerate, and they're not being stopped. And those are those touchdown maker type of guys that score big numbers of touchdowns in their career. He's one of them.
This game, a big one in Suffolk Division III. Let's take a look at the standings coming in to this weekend. You see there, Hills West. Just, 2 power points above Sayville in the standings. Westhampton Beach coming in at 3. And then Harbor Fields, East Islip, Deer Park behind them. A lot of teams, Mike, in Suffolk 3 this year that were expected to have good seasons. The Compsawag and Islip really battling some injuries. And especially when you have these smaller sized teams, that's like 2 or 3 positions a lot of times, and it really hampers teams.
Sure, injury, it's a physical game, football. It's a sport of contact. And unfortunately, injury is going to be part of it. And when you get to the smaller schools, listen, it happens in the big schools too. If you lose the wrong guy or a couple of the wrong guys, things could go sideways very quickly on you. And when you're only playing 8 games in an 8-game season, a couple of losses could spin everything in the wrong direction. Last week I did Cold Spring Harbor. They were the 2 seeds in Nassau 4, and they had 1 win. They were 1-4, going into week 6. They pulled out a win, but they had so many injuries that piled up on them.
Westhampton Beach to this point has been fortunate because their numbers a little bit this year are below what they're used to having. They're usually having a roster of like 50 or so. That's down to like 35, I believe it is, this year. And one of the guys who was injured, who's missed the last 3 weeks, is Michalowski. Good to see him back as well. Spelling him in those 3 weeks was Brody Schaefer, the sophomore, who kind of brings you, he's like that bigger back, maybe a little bit faster, but he's raw. Brody Schaefer, 21, and in their loss against Hills West, fumbled the football 4 times. So having Michalowski, that safety valve back, is big for Westhampton Beach. Gambino running for his life, just throws the ball to his own sideline.
I think what you see here is this is a mirror image of the last series, Dylan. On the first down last series, they got about 2.5, less than 3 yards in the first play. On the first play, they ran it again with Michalowski. Didn't get much. And now they're in kind of a passing situation, right? And now the Sayville guys play pass. Guys aren't open. And you get an incompletion. The clock doesn't move a whole lot.
Right.
And now you're on 3rd and long again. So this is kind of both series. The last 2 series are kind of the same thing for Westhampton. Hopefully, they could, for their credit, they could get a first down here.
Gambino rolls right. The pressure comes, and the sack as well. It was Brett. He was chased from the weak side by Byrne 29, and he ran right in to Jeremy Brett. His 3rd sack of the year for the senior. He and Byrne on both outsides have been tremendous. See 29 right there, and then here's 5 coming in as well to make the sack.
I like the idea of rolling the pocket a little bit to try to give them a little more time because they've been getting some interior pressure. But you got to get Brett blocked if you're going to roll like that.
Reed Sands says the punt is up, and a short one at that. It is fielded at about the 47, losing his blocker. And how about this for a return of seemingly nothing? Daniel Hollahan gives Sayville some excellent field position.
That's one of those no, maybe yes play. He didn't want to fair catch it. And he caught it and ran around with it and made a big play out of it.
Here you see it again. Hollahan, and this right there, you've got to lock him up. If you are Westhampton Beach, was able to get a couple extra yards.
Great situation right now. Great field position for Sayville, built on the fact that defense had 2 3-and-outs in a row.
1st and 10 from the 23-yard line, and Messina dives forward. He's pulled down just shy of the 15.
Good push right there. 7+ on 1st down.
One of the things you've seen differently from Messina this year is he's been able to run a little more consistently because he's not that QB this year. Remember last year as well, he had to kind of think more and figure out his situations, running kind of that wildcat situation. But obviously Triptree now is your QB, so Messina is able to just kind of run freely now as that lead back. 2nd and 3, back to Messina. A little stutter step, little cut to the outside, and he's pulled down. Looks like about the 13-yard line. Should be just shy of the 1st down. It'll be a 3rd and 1.
Kind of ran a long way, not to get a whole lot, but still a good bounce and get to the outside there for Messina. And last year, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, they had some injuries to quarterback position, Sayville. So he was kind of playing that kind of that running back, quarterback spot, and certainly not doing that this year. It's enabled him to get a few more carries. He's definitely bigger than he was a year ago, too. He's much bigger, thicker in the lower body for sure, and what's him at 190, I think, 190-ish.
Yeah, 6'1".
He's all of that.
And Triptree wants to get the push. And at 6'2", 175, following his big man, 71, Bonfanti, as well as Griffin Perez, 77, the 6'2", 250 junior. He will get that 1st down.
Good inside push right there up front, just on the quarterback sneak. Offensive linemen love that stuff, Dylan. Having faith in them. Coach goes, we're going to go sneak right now. We're going to go wedge it up right there and get some push. They love that confidence from their coach.
You see Perez there. He transitioned to left guard after starting at center a year ago. Messina bounces to the outside. A flag is thrown. Good piece of defending there by T.J. Hill, the linebacker who was a safety in the past. And he's moved himself to outside linebacker this year, T.J. Hill, the 6'2" junior. So the penalty is declined.
Sure, they'll take the loss and the down rather than the yardage. Good defensive play by Westhampton right there, trying to get the Sayville guys off schedule a little bit.
There's that math for you, right? You probably were going to have a 1st and 15, right? Instead, you've got a 2nd and 17 from
Take
the
for down
20-yard
and
line.
2 yards.
Triptree had a terrific hit on the play, and then again it is Hill. What a collision that was as Benny Sands and TJ Hill.
Just trying to clear out that shallow there for Sands. Defender did a good job of getting to the football and getting Sands right on the ground. Good collision.
And the best part of it all, Mike, is you saw both guys just pick themselves right up, and everybody's good.
Third, about 14 here, Dylan. You look at Sayville's probably looking at 2 downs right now. So you don't necessarily have to go to the end zone or get all of it at one. You can half it, get 3/4. Probably have a bunch of plays in their playbook that can do that. They have trips here to the boundary, and they have a single up top.
Triptree. His first read maybe not there. Tucks out of it, lowers his shoulder, and he gets to the 15. Pulled down there by Brody Schaefer, number 21.
It's a great tackle in space by Schaefer right there, because if he doesn't get him on the ground, he probably gets pretty close to almost all the first down yardage.
Schaefer, we mentioned before, right, what he does as a running back. He was the lead back the last few games, and he reps in at linebacker, and a really big play there for him. And as you mentioned, it's 4-down territory here for Sayville. The Golden Flashes have a 4th and 12 from the 15 as we approach 4 minutes left in this first half.
Good job by Westhampton defensively. They've won a bunch of downs here, and got to be careful with them throwing it out into his trips here, though, and just trying to get the run after the catch.
Look out, the pressure comes, and it was an incomplete pass for Cataldi. You like the pressure coming. It looked like that was 54. Sal Fracapane, the senior, didn't play a lot for Westhampton Beach a year ago. Great motor as well. And Fracapane, 21 tackles, 5 sacks on the year. Did a fantastic job there to force maybe a quicker pass than Triptree wanted to throw.
You can kind of see a little bit of why Westhampton's had such a great season. Defensively, they play hard, good coverage, aggressive, sound tackling, and they've held Sayville basically to. They've held them to 1 score, and they've put a lot of the time in their half of the field. Offensively, though, they need to get going here a little bit and try to get the ball moving and flip the field a little bit, so they can get out of their own shadow, their own end zone here.
Here's Michalowski behind Gambino. A really good block, but that time it was Brett getting to the outside. The block was inside for Westhampton Beach. It was Gianni Amadimo, number 2, the tight end, but then Brett again bringing it, popping it outside, and making the big tackle.
She's just chasing the ball down. Playing relentless, playing hard, getting to the football.
Reed Sands, the Sayville head coach, uses the chess terminology when he mentions his defense, says Brett and Byrne, your 2 DNs, they're the pawns of this defense. Gambino over the middle, in and out of Kevin Smith's hands.
I think the Westhampton guys try to establish a straight run on first down. I'd like to see them, get back to maybe some of that RPO, but stuff they started the game with a little bit, that run-pass option. Because right now, after not getting much on first down, they put themselves in two pass situations that the Sayville guys are just straight defending the pass and creating some pressure as well.
Mark Johnson, the offensive coordinator for Westhampton Beach. Sean Bloffel in his 5th season as head coach at Awanta, 1991 graduate. Now the defensive coordinator. Previously was the offensive coordinator on that Long Island Championship team in 2017. And another incomplete pass. Smith again, the intended target.
Ball just a little hard to catch. Like they've had that one back again. I think you could probably hook that one up right, a little bit off. And force another punt here.
A tough one here as well as Schaefer, who has done a little bit of everything. 4th and 13. You see him there right at his own end zone. Brody Schaefer also kicks, the running back. He needs to get a good one off here. And he does. He backs Morioni back a little bit. Morioni looks like he ran into his own guy. Doesn't get much. And again, Fracapane was in on the tackle 54.
Fracapane got down there in a hurry. You know, squared his guy up, shimmied down a little bit, got off the block. Well done there. But good field position for Sayville again on the Westhampton 42. I mean, pretty good punt. It was just you're punting from pretty deep in your own end.
1st and 10 from the 42-yard line with 2:49 left in this first half.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dylan. I think Sayville's getting the ball coming out of halftime. Westhampton, I think, had it first. So right now, this is a pretty big series right here. If Sayville could score and get the ball at the second half, really turn the game.
Messina up the middle, and what a terrific-looking tackle by Aiden McDermott, your linebacker. Again, another one of these guys for Westhampton Beach, number 50, who didn't play much at all last year, but he's really done some nice things, improved as the season's gone on, came in with 28 tackles on the year. Good-looking kid, too, at 5'10", 200.
The Westhampton defense didn't get the Messina memo. They don't want to buy the Messina memo, but he's really good. They're going to bring it and try to get him on the floor early. And
hey, they saw the keys, right? First one was try to contain 20. 2nd and 8 from the 40. Triptree ducks under, tucks the football, and he's pulled down in a late flag as well. And this is usually against the defense. And
good decision by Triptree there. He didn't have what he wanted. He pulled it down and he ran.
Look at that.
He got positive yardage.
Personal foul on the face mask as well. So you put plus 15 on the end of this run as well. And that's exactly what you do not need if you are Westhampton Beach, right? You want to be aggressive. You want to obviously tackle, but the over-aggression really is troublesome here as you get to the 18-yard line for Sayville with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, you played pretty good coverage here. You forced the quarterback to run. You had him tackled, inbounds with not necessarily, with the clock will keep running a little bit and giving up some yardage, but don't give up 15 more if you can help it.
Triptree back to pass. Rolls right. Still looks for options again. Tucks it under. And he's forced out of bounds. A pair of tacklers there. Luke Kilroy, 34. One of them as well as Jordan Brown, your D-end at junior. Big body, 6'1", 205 is Brown. He's made some big plays for the Hurricanes this year as well.
They had a route combo going on the top up there to the offense's left, trying to get a wheel route, come off of it, and like a slant or a post wheel combo. And they had it covered, Westhampton, to their credit, and he ran with it again a little bit.
Morioni in singles at the bottom of your screen. Triptree looks his way. Oh, what a block by Messina. Tucking under the tackle, spinning, end zone, touchdown, Sayville! Anthony Morioni with the score, an 18-yard touchdown. And a huge block by Kyle Messina helped set that one up.
You're going to be a good running back. You have to be able to be good in pass pro. And a good block right there for his quarterback by Messina. And you can see, Maroney there just making plays after catching the ball. Came with an inside blitz. One of the linemen got free. Combination of a couple missed tackles and Maroney making some really good athletic plays with a little spin.
Burke on for the PAT. The soccer guy puts it through the uprights. So that extends Sayville's lead to 14-0. And listen, when you're a guy like Kyle Messina that everyone talks about, right, and you're a Hansen Award candidate, when you block like that, that certainly says things to your teammates, right? Like, I'm not just like the face of the franchise guy. I'm going to put in the hard work as well. And that's exactly what Kyle Messina did, getting that big block up top, which allowed Triptree to continue rolling right and finding Morioni, who, again, let Reed Sands tell you about it. We let him catch the short ball and let him go from there, right? And Morioni did it again for that 18-yard touchdown with 1:26 left in this first half.
It would have been nice if Morioni just caught it and went out of bounds. That would have been okay, too. He gets extra, get the touchdown out of it. So, great individual effort. And Messina, obviously, his greatness extends beyond his ability to roll with the football. Complete player, plays defense, and, in pass pro and things like that, blocking. Very, very talented. And very willing. To willingness that makes a big difference.
Heading into the point of this game here now where it's getting important for Westhampton Beach to get something going offensively. As you mentioned, Sayville's ball coming out.
They started the game with some really nice rhythm. Maybe they can get back to that again a little bit and try to get on schedule and get some good rhythm and get over the ball.
Short kick fielded at about the 30-yard line. A big hit as well. Mikey Sands.
They kicked one of those little short poocher jobs, off to the side trying to pin it. And Sands got down there in a hurry to make the play. Good tackle.
The three older Sands boys, Charlie, Benny, and Mikey, all exactly 18 months apart. So when you hear Reed Sands say it, kill the guy with the football, that kind of game you play in the backyard, that was a lot of Charlie and Benny. I think Charlie's laid off of Mikey a little bit, but now it's Mikey and Benny battling a little bit as well. Pass to the outside, and a good reception by Smith.
Got a flag down there, Dylan, but you see right again, they started to try to get back on schedule a little bit, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick, throw it out there, little quick screen, and get running a little bit. Looks like we're going to have another face mask again. 5-yard variety.
And if anything, this just gets Westhampton now out of that trouble with knowing, your end zone is right behind you, right? So now you're out towards midfield. Another flag as Schaefer on the run.
Might have a false start there from Westhampton this time.
There you have it. It's the 5 yards you gain or the 5 yards you lose. Back to the Sands brothers, though. Charlie now at Endicott playing football there. Had a tough situation, tore his shoulder in camp. So he's a freshman there at Endicott and had to sit a little bit as well. There's a fourth Sands brother. That's Sammy. He's 12. He has a genetic disorder, a nonverbal called CDKL5. Usually those who have that need a feeding tube. They've got trouble sleeping. Sammy doesn't have that issue, and Reed and his wife, Kerry, believe in the science and that a cure may be just around the corner. We certainly hope that is the case for the Sands.
59 seconds on the clock.
So we'll put 59 seconds on the clock. The officials pointed up to the press box here.
Move that back here on him. And
little dump pass, and that's what you were saying before. Look at this run after catch by Kevin Smith.
Little middle screen right there. Got the Sayville guys to get up the field for him. Good looking play right there.
Very good looking play. And maybe now you're getting that rhythm that you were talking about that you had in your first possession of the game. Gambino hands off. There's Schaefer. Shifty, but he goes backwards, and he's forced back. Good-looking tackle by Neugebauer. And a timeout called.
I think you saw some youth and inexperience in Schaefer there, You gotta know, I think Coach telling him right now, you gotta know where the first down is, right? If you dive across and get it, the clock will stop. And instead they had to use it, they had to burn a timeout there because he kind of went east-west a little bit, trying to bounce to find the big play. And I think as running backs get older, Dylan, one thing you see out of Messina, experience beyond his years, is how adept he is at getting that little yardage right there and always going forward instead of having to go east-west all the time. Sometimes you got to put your foot in the ground and get north-south.
Last meeting between these two teams right here, a game we had for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and it was Sayville with a 35-6 win over the Hurricanes. Messina, a big day on the ground, 22 for 162-3. Benny Sands got it done defensively with 7 tackles, 3 of those for losses, a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. And then Thomas Golio, a little scoop and score, 24-yard fumble recovery as Sayville won that one on October 1st a year ago, 35-6. The Golden Flashes, they went on to have an undefeated regular season and continued that as well, 10-1, but they lost to their rivals, East Islip, in a bitter Suffolk 3 championship game, falling 35-28. They had beaten the Redmen in the regular season 55-44 in week 6.
Tremendous rivalry right there between East Islip and Sayville.
Yeah, they had that game a week ago. Now Gambino under center. Flips it to Michalowski. A little stutter step, and again, the pursuit to the football. And it was number 7 making the tackle, Anthony Morioni. We have mentioned his name a lot here in this first half.
I actually thought they might have gone sneak right there when they brought the quarterback under center and they tossed it to Michalowski. He wasn't able to get it.
So last play here, likely, of this first half, and a timeout is called with 2 seconds remaining. We mentioned the Golden Flashes again a year ago. You lose to East Islip in the championship game, and they've been perfect to this point of the season. We see the wins early on this year against Hauppauge, Deer Park, and Harborfields, and the banged-up duo there of Comstock and Islip. So a lot of the younger guys, maybe guys up from JV, are trying to get that varsity experience, or guys like a Trip Tree in a new position as your starting quarterback, are able to get a lot of those wins under their belt. And now you get to the tail end, the really tough part of your regular season schedule with East Islip, Westhampton, and Hills West to close it out.
Pretty consistent, though, Dylan, of 40s, 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 40s across the board. On almost 40 against East Islip.
So here we go, 4th down. Gambino, that ball's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. You see Jackson with a little bit of a flex. Perhaps 42 got a piece. But regardless, they made sure. That was looking to be another one of those, right? A dump, and then maybe have a guy like Smith do the rest. Instead, the ball's knocked down, and we are at halftime. Your score at the break, it is Sayville 14 and Westhampton Beach nothing. You're watching this Suffolk 3 showdown presented by Orland & Cohn Orthopedics on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist, making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist, making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist, making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist, making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts,
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Welcome back to Sayville, where the Golden Flashes have a 14-0 lead over Westhampton. Second half about to begin. Busy night here for us on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Little out-of-town score, if you will. Scoreless between Port Washington and Syosset on one of our broadcasts for you. But here in Suffolk County, Division 3, big battle here, and it was a big first half for those guys, the Golden Flashes, and it started with the guy we expect it to start with as Kyle Messina runs for this 15-yard touchdown. You see him bounce it to the outside. Great cut inside. He gets the block up top as well by Jackson Neugebauer, and a 15-yard touchdown for Messina gives the Golden Flashes a 7-0 lead with 8:21 left in the second quarter. Messina's 18th rushing touchdown of the year. It stayed 7-0 for quite a while until Triptree finds Morioni. And again, watch 20 at the top of your screen. A fantastic block right there. Triptree rolls right, finds Morioni, ducks under a tackle, goes to the spin cycle, and he gets in the end zone. An 18-yard touchdown for Sayville. And the Golden Flashes have a 14-0 lead here at halftime.
I thought Westhampton came out and had some good, really good to start the game. Came out with some RPOs and things. They came down the field, moved the ball a little bit. And then the Sayville defense kind of took over a little bit, and they couldn't get the ball moving, Westhampton. And most of the second quarter was really played in their half of the field. And was able to get Sayville to score twice and give them this lead that they have, Dylan. Now, coming out of halftime, they're going to get the ball as well. they could punch one in here to start the half. Could definitely change the complexion of the game quite a bit.
These two teams, as you see, Hebert there leading his team to their warm-ups after halftime. They have kind of been intertwined, right? Sayville and Westhampton Beach. Regulars in D3, not teams that have been bouncing around, right? They have been playing here in quite a while, and we've seen some really big names as well playing these games. The biggest, arguably, of all is Sayville's sensational son, Jack Cohn, of course, the 2017 graduate, set the Long Island career record for passing yards with 97.87. Touchdown passes 128, was the Hanson Award winner in 2016. Went on to Wisconsin, where he completed 68% of his passes, and went on, as a lot of people certainly know, transferred, got into that portal, was there for about 20 minutes. Notre Dame came calling, and he completed 65% of those passes with the Fighting Irish for 3,100 yards, 25 touchdowns, 13 starts. Spent pretty much the entire preseason with Indianapolis, was one of those last cuts there, just now working out, or most recently having worked out with the Seahawks after the Raiders. We expect Jack Cohn to continue to have that great future on the next level. And he was a guy, kind of that almost original guy that worked out with Sims' complete QB, right? Worked out with Phil Sims early on in his Sayville career, a guy who as a freshman had a great understanding of Rob Haas's playbook, certainly for Sayville. And for Westhampton Beach, a program used to running the football, no one better than Dylan Lauby. You see those numbers for Westhampton Beach's best, 120 career TDs, 6,000, just shy of 6,500 career rushing yards. That 2017 season was one of the best on Long Island, right? 47 touchdowns. That set a Long Island single-season record. Nearly 2,700 yards rushing the ball. He led Westhampton to that 12-0 season. Their first LIC title was that co-winner of the Hanson as well. By the way, currently at New Hampshire, where you see it at the bottom, right? He leads the FCS in punt returns, third in all-purpose yards, 18th in rushing, doing a fantastic job at New Hampshire. Dylan Lauby.
Sure, Jack Cohn, obviously you saw playing at Wisconsin at Big Ten and then playing for Notre Dame and independent, but at a very highest level of Division I football, of bowl subdivision football, but you have to realize that Dylan Lauby at New Hampshire plays in the CAA, which is far and away the most competitive conference in 1AA in subdivision football. So that's no small feat what he's accomplishing up there in New Hampshire. And New Hampshire, a very good program, traditionally a player participant in 1AA football. So great career by Dylan Lauby up at New Hampshire.
I think Jack's dad, Mike, is in attendance. Their daughter, Bella, also went on and had a great collegiate lacrosse career, was really good here for Sayville as well. And by the way, there's another Cohn here as well. You see number 17, the backup QB, Patrick Cohn. That is Jack's cousin as well. So he's just a freshman, is Pat Cohn.
His time will come, no doubt, here in a Sayville uniform. Good for him.
Terrific family, terrific football family, certainly the Cohns. We wish Jack the best. We saw him last week, right? Signing some autographs at homecoming when they played it at the high school against East Islip on that old school grass surface.
Just shows you how hard it is to play at the highest level, right? It's just so hard to make NFL roster, play in the NFL. It's just really, really hard.
We've seen the same out of Jeremy Ruckert, right? Trying to make his way onto the field for the New York Jets. Former Lindenhurst great. Opening kickoff of the second half, fielded at about the 5-yard line. Little shimmy, little shake, little bounce to the outside. Another flag as well as Luke Hansen makes a quality return, but let's see if this doesn't come back.
Good tackle at the end of the play by Ryan Springer there from Westhampton Beach. Some good contact.
We're going to block in the back against the return team. That is our referee, Michael Scavo, who was busy in the first half.
Dylan, these special teams plays, it's so important to be penalty-free. You know, they had a really nice return there, and it gets kind of wiped out. And then not always get wiped out, but you lose some yards from when the penalty occurred. And really tough situation when you commit penalties on the punt return and the kick return game, kickoff return game.
You're right. This backs Sayville up to their own 10-yard line now. There's a good look. You see 9, Benny Sands. You've got 20, Messina, 16, Triptree.
Great opportunity if you're Westhampton right now. You came out, you got them pinned pretty deep in your own of a 10-yard line. Can you make a play? Who can make a play for you? Can you get a fumble, a pick, something to get the ball back in your hands quickly?
Hand off to Messina, and he pushes his way forward. Looks like he gets to about the 17-yard line. Gain of 7 on first down.
Great first down play right there. Get up inside run. Get 6.5, 7 on first down. Get ahead of schedule right there. You know, put yourself in a good spot for second down. Now you got a whole bunch of plays you can work off of your playbook if you're the Sayville offense, right? You run, you could pass, you could RPO, do a bunch of things.
Officially a 2nd and 4. Triptree looks over his shoulder. He's got Messina there. Gets the handoff. Hits the hole hard, and Messina bounces it to the outside. Messina past the 50, the 40, and he's forced down. A fantastic run by Messina, and there are no flags on the play.
Boom, there it is. If you Sayville, you're kind of waiting for it, right? When's he going to pop a big one? And there it was, Kyle Messina. You can see on the replay. Pulled a couple linemen there going to the left, and he cut that right back. And Sands is kind of locking the edge rusher there. He gets up inside of it on the cutback and bends it all the way back.
And you love, too, Morioni right at the top, just making sure as well that Messina is able to get some open space to run.
Receivers have to block, especially in high school football. The ball is still going to get ran more than it's thrown, so you have to be able to block and stalk as a receiver.
1st and 10 from the Westhampton Beach 23-yard line. Triptree. I was about to say that he had some time there and forced down. You see 54, Sal Fracapane, the first to come in, and Noah Hebert falls on him as well.
Looks like they're doing a good job with him taking the initial read away and making him hold on to the ball a little bit longer and let the rush start to get to him.
I like their front four a lot. You've got Fracapane and Brown as your ends, right? Not the biggest guys, but they certainly have some speed. And then those guys that clog the holes, right, with Hebert and Mensch, 6'2", 250, 6'2", 250 on the inside. That was a loss of 5 for Sayville. Handoff Messina, runs to the right sideline, and he's forced out there, shy of the first down marker.
He was able to get the edge there, Messina, and get it north-south, pick up a lot of that yardage back, give him a really manageable down here. A little less than 5 or just a little under 5 yards to go. So once again, you probably have two plays in your arsenal if you save with it, pick up the first down.
There's Messina. Spins, turns, and gets close. No, he does move the chains, gets the first down for the Golden Flashes.
I don't know if we're going to get to see that one again, but you see him pulling both linemen right there. A little GT action, and they're able to get in behind them and get that first down. Impressive drive here by Sayville. Start the half.
Yeah, started at their own 10-yard line. That big run by Messina, massive to this point. 1st and 10 now from the 13-yard line. Sayville looking to extend their lead. Triptree over the middle. Touchdown! Morioni, his 2nd of the game.
Well, they get a real run-heavy formation right there, Dylan. You know, they have a tight end right, and they have a Y off left, and they throw that slant in there to Morioni. Off the RPO. And there's your slant RPO for the touchdown.
14-yard score. Again, second touchdown. Triptree now has thrown for 17 on the year. And Morioni has 8 TD receptions. The PAT is up, and it is good. So listen, guys like Triptree and guys like Messina don't get an opportunity to make the big plays like you do when you don't get the play from the offensive line. And now let's get to know one of their guys, Liam Higgins, the Joey Vizone Award winner, number 56. Asked him his favorite pancake, right? He goes, chocolate chip, but I prefer the pancakes on the field. That a boy, Liam. His Halloween costume this year is Alan from The Hangover. And I asked him, pumpkin spice, yay or nay? A big, big nay for Liam Higgins.
Yeah, well, I'm in our going pumpkin spice. They're not going pumpkin spice. There's no way. I gotta say, I would be very disappointed if he had been big yay. Nah, he's going big nay.
You see the number 56, another one of those special numbers for Sayville. That's the Joey Vizone Award winner. Joey Vizone wore that number on JV, and all he wanted to do was wear that number for the Sayville varsity football team. But the defensive end, unfortunately, died on July 22nd, 2014, after losing an ongoing struggle with terminal brain cancer. So it's it's a special award for Sayville, one of the two. We'll mention the other in a moment as well. But that's Liam Higgins is your Joey Vizone Award winner this year. Looking to make a move to the outside there was Brody Schaefer.
I love all those things you bring up, Dylan, all those traditions. You know, you have different schools, how we come and do games different places, who wears what uniforms, what number, all those traditions. Very, very cool.
The other special number is number 9 for Sayville, worn by Benny Sands. You see them these are at the 40. There he is. Benny Sands. That's the Mitch Cangelosi Award. Goes to a great athlete who gives us all on the field, in the classroom. Mitch Cangelosi was a class of 99 who died in a car accident in 2006 at 25. The winner needs to succeed academically, but also be respected by his peers and teachers. Be kind to those around him as well. And Benny Sands is that guy. And there you see on cue, Sands making a tackle. Cohn, we mentioned before, Jack Cohn was a previous award winner of that. Sands was a unanimous choice on this year's Sayville team.
Yeah, great player. Offense, defense, three-way player, specials, you know. Big tackle right there, like right on cue. He made that tackle right there, right?
Yeah.
Right on cue.
He heard us.
He heard us talking about it. If they try to run that jet sweep right there, which that's actually a pass, because it's actually thrown up by the quarterback. That's a progression of that jet series, right? Rather than hand it off and get that handoff in there late, they kind of toss it up to the player in motion. It becomes a reception, but there was a loss on the play. Now you have a motion penalty, it looks like. Really pushing Westhampton backwards here. I think Westhampton, Dylan's on the verge of trying to, get the game really spiraling a little bit. They have to get some offense going here.
Gambino nearly intercepted. Neugerbauer got his hands on it, but it went in and out.
Good play by Neugerbauer.
There's special numbers as well for Westhampton Beach. You see the number 77 there. The number, though, is 12. Obviously, an offensive lineman can't wear number 12, but he's got a number 12 patch. There's Noah Hebert. He wears that for Corey Hubbard. That award every year is given out to the most high character kid at Westhampton. So the number 12 is pretty important to them. Hubbard was killed in a hit-and-run accident in 2014 when he was a student at Maryland or the University of Maryland. Hubbard, by the way, was a football player, lacrosse, a wrestler as well. So that number is special both for Westhampton Beach football, but also it's also awarded in lacrosse as well.
That's great stuff to keep the memory of those people alive, those kids alive, and what they did and who they are. And you know, it encourages kids to be those kind of people, right? And live up to what that represents and aspire to do that. That's very, 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 very cool.
Schaefer the punt. And it takes a bounce. And it will be Sayville ball out at midfield.
Westhampton, they're running it on third down. They're just kind of like, you know, don't know what they get much going right now. It's a pretty tough situation. Sayville defensively is kind of ganging up on the run pass and making it very difficult.
Yeah, 21-0 here. 6:53 left, and the Golden Flash is looking for more here. And a battle of field position. They didn't have a great one last possession. They still found the end zone, started at their own 10 because of a big run there by number 20, Cal Messina. More manageable right now from their own 48-yard line. Triptree ducks under the pressure, and he is taken down. It was Brown, number 25, with the tackle.
Look like a little quarterback draw right there. Just throwing in, trying to pop it. A Triptree, but good play defensively by Westhampton.
Great pursuit. Number 25, Jordan Brown. We mentioned one of those two starting defensive ends for the Hurricanes. A pair of sacks. And what you like, too, among the whole front four, right? You've got, let's count them up, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sacks from your front four. And that's hard to do because you got offensive linemen, right, breathing all over you. Here comes Messina. Breaks a tackle at the 50. And he gets forced out of bounds. Good job there by number 1, Kevin Smith.
Two-way guy, Kevin Smith. He's trying to play some offense before and catch a couple passes. Good job on defense right there, getting Messina out of bounds. Good form. Runs through a tackle right there, Messina.
You see Sands upfield, right, trying to make that block as well. 46-yard line as...
Now the opportunity here for Westhampton, though, you know, Dylan, it's 3rd and 3. They get a stop right here. Maybe they can get the ball back and get something going. You don't want to keep Sayville driving on you right now.
Triptree, quick out. Morioni makes the catch. Little takedown defensively there, but that moves the chains, and another big play by Anthony Morioni.
That's just taking what the defense is giving you, right there. Little quick hitch, comeback route, sit it down, pitch and catch, pretty easy.
One of the better receivers, certainly in Suffolk County, number 7, Anthony Morioni, and Triptree and Messina look to the sideline, and again, Reed Sands, your offensive coordinator, after spending his previous 18 years when he was an assistant coach as a defensive coordinator. There's Messina. Love, too, the physicality, right, by Messina with the stiff arm, getting it in to Michael LaRusso's grill.
Kind of starting to gamble a little bit now. Looks like a little bit Westhampton blitzing a little bit. He just kind of bounces that one a little bit. Looks like 25. Looks a little bit banged up right there. Jordan Brown.
Jordan Brown,
yep.
You love, too, the synergy as the trainers will come on to take a look at Brown. You love this coaching synergy a little bit, right, for Sayville, because Sands was a defensive coordinator for Rob Haas, and Haas now back with the team as the QB and cornerbacks coach as well. And, you know, you talk to Reed Sands. He says, you know, I've heard guys ask me, like, why would you invite Haas back as a volunteer coach? He goes, the question isn't that. The question is, why wouldn't I? Right? Just a wealth of knowledge. And he said the collective coaching staff here at Sayville, there are no egos. And he says Haas has done an excellent job. He also coaches the corners. Obviously they understand the game, and having another person He doesn't have to get in. Sands doesn't have to get into the QB's ear, even though he does admit that he does as well. He wants to get his fingers in on everybody there as the offensive coordinator. But you think about the great history, right, of QBs, right? You go back to Stephen Farrar, Jack Cohn as well, right? Jack Cheshire. Rob Haas was the guy who coached all those guys, right? So this is very much kind of become that sort of quarterback high. And if he's that guru, right, among the quarterbacks, why not have him back? And you see the job that he's done with Triptree as well.
Absolutely, and just the knowledge he has and the ability to coach those players and make them get them better over the course of a season or the course of years of training them is pretty impressive.
A little more time for Rob now to also, again, work with the corners. His daughter also out playing collegiate lacrosse as well.
Coming out of an injury timeout here.
Man in motion was Sands. Running to the outsides, Messina breaks a tackle. Kyle Messina dives in the end zone. Touchdown, Sayville.
Great run by Messina. They said they had a
Hold the phone here and a conversation among the officials. And we're bringing this one back. A block in the back against the Golden Flashes.
All right. But you can see the greatness of Messina there. Evading one tackle, squaring it up, getting north-south, accelerating, diving for the pylon.
See 77 there on the offensive line. Griffin Perez, he's kind of that man among boys, right? 6'2", 250. You've got a relatively smaller offensive line around them, right? Where you've got Liam Higgins in at 5'11", 220. Bonfanti at 5'7", 180. Christensen at 5'11", 220, but big number 77. Griffin Perez, a captain, a great leader, an excellent lineman as well. They think he's better at guard than center because he's able to pound away at guys. Another completion. Morioni spins it to the outside, tries to cut it back inside before he is tackled.
He's tough to tackle. Slippery guy. A lot of moves. Has to be considered one of the better receivers in Suffolk County.
Yeah.
You would say.
Third and about 2 inside the final 5 minutes of this third quarter.
Kind of think Kyle Messina's getting the ball here in some way, shape, or form, right?
Oh, so now you're the OC. No, to be honest, it's not hard to guess, right? Messina cuts inside.
Very close.
And again, you if you're Westhampton Beach and you review this film, and that's the funny thing, too, that Shamwaffle has said, the film room is a little bit where a lot of these younger guys, they're not used to seeing, he goes, film don't lie, right? Like, you are the mistakes or the things that, the positives, it's all right there for you when you get to the film room. And I got to imagine when they get to the film room, the pursuit to the ball and stopping or at least trying to contain a Messina has been very good. That was one of their keys at the start of this game, and they've done a pretty good job to this point. Christensen over the middle, intercepted at the 10-yard line. Gianni Amodimo to the outside, and a big play by the junior free safety, Gianni Amodimo.
That was the play the Westhampton defense needed. They had a little break-in inside. It looks like that was Hebert again, had his hands up, maybe got in the quarterback's field of vision when he threw it.
And how about Amodimo as well? You see him lower the shoulder and just barrel right through a Sayville guy. Another flag on the play. This could be tacked on I believe this one's going to be against Sayville. We'll see it here.
Referees have had their activity tonight.
Yeah, so it's and it's going to be against Sayville, so you tack on the 15. And all of a sudden, the window of opportunity now for Westhampton Beach. Off the turnover, off the interception, you tack on 15, and you get the ball out by midfield. See unsportsmanlike there against the defense, or the offense then, but
great opportunity for Westhampton to try to climb their way back into the game a little bit if they could put something together.
a little different look now at QB as Michalowski on the run out toward the 50. 9 is in there. Gambino's in there. And you get the feeling, Mike Hungerford, this is one of those you've got to score if you're Westhampton to get back in this one, trailing 21-0. Michalowski again. I just
don't think, Sayville guys up front are we got some flags again now.
Yeah, a little conversation, a little shoving there by Benny Sands on Hebbard. And it's we hear it all the time in sports, right? Maybe it's not necessarily the first thing that you see, it's the second. And that's what happened there. The push right in front of the officials. Another 15-yard penalty against Sayville. And look at this. It pushes Westhampton Beach into the 34-yard line.
Before the penalty, Dylan, I was going to comment that I just don't think, and they may prove me wrong right here, but it doesn't seem like the Westhampton guys can get the Sayville guys blocked up front to run the ball consistently. They're going to have to throw it to score.
Gambino does just that. Looking for number 3, TJ Hill, whose knee was down at the 30-yard line. So
good first down play, though. Getting almost 5. They've been getting 1 and 0 on first down a lot. Good to have a positive first down play. And I think they're going to have to throw the ball to set up the run as opposed to run to set up the pass right now. Changing the play here at the line.
Gambino goes to Michalowski, and a really good-looking tackle by Mikey Sands, 32.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm referencing. I mean, they fly to the football. Sayville, their solid tackle is very sound. Get off blocks very well. I just don't know if you're going to be able to run it enough.
Mikey Sands, 5'10", 170. Reed Sands says he's one of those guys who gained 35 pounds, so that pass is incomplete in the offseason, which he says, in my family, that's hard to do because we're all tiny. But of all those Sands boys that we've mentioned, Mikey, number 32, is the biggest of them all at 5'10", 170, 28 tackles, 2 for a loss on the year. Fast, athletic, really good in the pass coverage as well. Big fourth down here for Westhampton Beach. It's 4th and 5. Gambino back to pass. Chase down. Jackson's on his back. A completed pass finding Kevin Smith, but it will be shy of the first down marker. And Smith, a two-way guy for the Hurricanes, is a little bit limp as he comes up.
Looks like they just get a lot of rush, more rushers than there are blockers. And I think, do we have a flag down, Dylan? Or the referee's just discussing it? I'm not really sure.
I think it's just a discussion among
the
officials. 1:17 remaining here in the third quarter. I want to remind folks again, Varsity Media Pass is your home for all things Long Island and Catholic High School Football League as well. We've got top 10 plays, highlights, podcasts, interviews as well. It's available on iOS and Android. Varsity Media Pass.
That picture right there, Dylan, is Plain Edge versus East Islip last year, right? In the LIC, won by Plain Edge. Plain Edge kind of rolling along in Conference 3 in Nassau. Could set up a pretty fun to watch Long Island championship game if Sayville would have continued here. Now, I know I'm jumping the gun several weeks, but
I'm with you.
But Hills West fans might not be very happy with me right now. I might have something to say about that, but Plain Edge seems to be mowing down their opponents in Nassau.
Yeah, that would be a fun one, no doubt. They've had a lot of history in the LIC of Plain Edge and Sayville. There's Messina. Bounces it to the outside. Kyle Messina, first down and more.
First down, Sayville.
He's got that machine quality about him where he just bounces, runs. If you make one mistake, you're going to get big chunk yardage like he did right there.
The last of Sayville's 6 Long Island championships was in 2015. They beat Plain Edge that year 59-15. That was Jack Cohn's senior season.
It's a tough go. You make it to the LIC and got to play against Jack Cohn. Not easy.
Remember, that game was out at Stony Brook. 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Messina to the outside. Will he be caught from behind? The answer is no.
No flags this time.
And no flags either. Kyle Messina, 58 yards to the house.
Seems like, Dylan, it's just a matter of time. There they are, bringing those two. They're bringing those 2 linemen, right? And the Y off. It was a kick out. Airplane 2 backs through, that guard tackle kind of a look.
Listen, give credit to Tyler Kirshner there for number 10 for Westhampton, just to be able to at least get on and maybe grab the shoulders of Messina. But Messina would not be denied his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game, longest as well, as Burke's PAT is good. He's been perfect today. He's 4 of 4 is Owen Burke on the season coming in. 30 of 31. Terrific consistency by the senior Owen Burke. Again, a soccer player is number 88, the kicker. Extremely consistent. He works hard. They held tryouts in June for like a lot of the soccer guys, right? Trying to find that next kicker. And Owen Burke has really impressed. The senior won that position outright.
Consistency is key with the kicking. Repetitive motion, the same thing over and over again. And good to have one of those guys. And how about getting that play blocked, Dylan? Like, he's untouched. Blocked pretty well by the Sayville front.
And Burke is a kid. You see him there, 88. He can kick a field goal. The offense has been so good this year, he hasn't even had the opportunity to. Right? He's got really good range as well. But, again, the opportunity just hasn't come up for the Golden Flashes.
I think he'll take the extra points and the touchdowns.
100%.
As a good teammate. So as we get ready to close out the third quarter here, Dylan, that might have been the touchdown that really makes it really difficult for Westhampton to come back here.
Schaefer is tracked down there by Kyle Malone, number 45. A year ago, Westhampton Beach. He mentions their season, and they had that loss here. They had a really weird sort of season when it comes to their wins and losses a year ago. They last year, they lost their first 3, including that 35-6 loss here against Sayville, and they went on and won their next 4 before being upset by Islip 20-10 at home in the Suffolk D3 quarterfinals. It's now Schaefer. Looks like spelling Michalowski, and that pass goes over the middle again to Smith. He makes the reception. Cataldi with the tackle.
That's been their most consistent play tonight. Is that slant RPO for the slot. I like how it looks. He throws it well. Reading that one linebacker for that run pass read.
3 quarters in the books here at Sayville, and the Golden Flashes look to remain golden on the season. They lead at 28-0 over Westhampton Beach. You're watching this Suffolk 3 showdown presented by Orland & Cohen Orthopedics on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
a clash of styles, out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
Welcome back to Sayville. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you, along with the entire Varsity Media crew. 4th quarter about to start, and it's been Sayville, a comprehensive performance on both sides of the football. They lead this one 28-0.
Sure, 2nd quarter, I think, was the signature quarter where they kind of played almost the whole quarter in West Hampton's end of the field, built their lead.
Will Gambino, the first-year starting QB, finds his favorite target. That's Kevin Smith. Tries to cut inside, and he was tackled by Michael Milo.
Gets enough for the first down, though. Keep those chains moving for Westhampton.
You know, we're a little bit of a traveling circus, right? We go to different places every weekend and different atmospheres. It's a fantastic one here on a Friday night out in Sayville. You got the band going, the cheerleaders, a big crowd as well. You got the young kids wearing the Sayville jerseys, right? Looking forward to their opportunity in the future. Handoff and a run, and that's Schaefer pushing himself forward. Again, the dual running backs of Michalowski and Schaefer. Schaefer's the guy who's the bigger, the faster of the two, but again, a little bit more raw. You know, he'll make plays. He's tough to tackle, but he also makes mistakes. You mentioned those four fumbles a week ago, so Schaefer spelling Michalowski here in the 4th quarter, doing a good job to this point. 2nd and 2, and again, it's it's Schaefer, and that's exactly what we just said, right? Bounces off the first one. He's elusive, and he gets out to the first down, or shy, I should say. Oh, he did move it. He got to the first down marker.
Well, Westhampton didn't get to 5-1 by accident,
Yep.
so you're not. And they're a very good program with tough kids. They're going to keep playing here, and you can see Schaefer right there, bounces, running, the elbows, shoulders. He's going downhill, and he's going to be tough to bring down.
Yeah,
and, keeps the clock moving for them. It keeps the chains moving a little bit too.
Yeah, their strengths, when we spoke with their head coach, Brian Schomloffel, is partially this guy, number 9. Good-looking pass, finding T.J. Hill. He's been pretty good. Gambino has. He started a year ago as well. And the wide receiving crew, young, inexperienced, but they're talented. 2 good running backs as well, and Schaefer and Michalowski. Really talented kids, but as he said, like any other young team, they make mistakes, right? So it's trying to improve on those mistakes, limit them, and just get better every single week. And I think we could say that we've seen that from Westhampton Beach. Look out from behind. Jackson chasing down Gambino, and he gets to his sideline unscathed.
Good job by Gambino. They were in hot pursuit right there. Was a flag down, but he did a good job of avoiding the tacklers and getting out of bounds.
And there you see another one of those conversations, right? Shamloffel and Schaefer. So expect this to be as one of those block in the back deals.
You look at Westhampton. They're very, like you said, they're pretty young.
Yeah.
You know, and coming to Sayville on a Friday night is a daunting task. You know, it's traditionally one of the best programs in the conference. Not easy.
And now Shamloffel, some frustration from that bench. Another flag is thrown. But listen, he said of his team, you know, you don't really know what to expect coming in, right, as the 6th seed and having such a young team. Only 7 seniors on his roster. 3 of those are starters. That means you've got 10 juniors and sophomores starting on offense and 8 underclassmen starting on defense as well. They have absolutely, Shamloffel says, exceeded my expectations to this point.
I don't think, no disrespect to the other teams in the conference, but I don't think they'll be the 6th seed next year.
With everybody back, right? Gambino over the middle, and LaRusso unable to grab that. You see number 11, Mike LaRusso, a transfer in from ESM. Athletic, he kind of looks that part of a wide receiver for Westhampton Beach at 6 foot 176.
It's a little miscommunication there. I think maybe he thought he was going a little more outside. He was going inside. Didn't settle down maybe. Or the ball, could be a bunch of different things. I don't know the exact play design there, but he was open.
But you look at their starters offensively, right? And you will absolutely miss 77 Noah Hebard, right? Right at the heart of that offensive line. But you've got Mensch back. Everybody else, they're all juniors. They're all returning, including 9. And again, some miscommunication there. And now some frustration here with 9:36 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Screen was a good idea. I think the Sayville guys are pinning their ears back a little bit. No, it's probably going to be passed, so they're going to rush. And just couldn't hook it up, and now they got to punt the football away. But these are these learning points, Dylan, when they go back and watch the film and talk about, here we were, what can we do here, what could happen here, and you got to correct some errors, and you got to hook some plays up, and maybe, maybe you don't win the game, but the score is a little bit different, than it is right now.
Timeout for Sayville.
Dylan, I think what makes, teams like Sayville so consistently good is, a 5-1 team comes in here tonight in Westhampton, and, it's a pretty big game back end of the schedule. You get 6-0 versus 5-1, and with 9:36 to go in the fourth quarter, it's 28-0, and that's why Sayville is Sayville, because they just win those kind of games and they grind them out. And this wasn't 41-0 at halftime or 40-0. It was a grind out kind of a game. The other team's pretty good. They're 5-1, but they win these games routinely.
This isn't one of those like election nights. We're not projecting yet Sayville the winner of this game, but it should set up for a doozy here in Week 8. Hills West and Sayville both undefeated, and you see just those 2 power points difference between Hills West and Sayville. They meet next weekend out at Hills West. That will determine the 1 seed going into the playoffs. And you see Westhampton there at the 3 seed. They're trying to hold on to that one as well. Next week, they go on the road to take on Rocky Point.
I'm not sure who Hills West has this week, but Sayville will get a lot of points beating a team that'll be 5-2.
Yeah.
So they may at that point, those points may flip around a little bit. And they may go back. They may jump Hills West depending on the result of the Hills West game. I'm assuming tomorrow could change things a little bit, but it will set up a very good game between possibly 2 7-0 teams.
Here's Schaefer's punt. And by the way, we didn't mention it here because obviously Westhampton Beach hasn't gotten on the scoreboard as Morioni tries to get to his sideline. A big block as well. And there will be a flag thrown as well on Joe Burns. But the thing we didn't mention about Schaefer is he leads Suffolk County in kicking points. Right? He's been spot on. He has 5 field goals on the year. His PATs have
Friday
been
night
perfect.
field goals. We haven't had one, though.
Haven't had it.
Friday night field goal. Come on. And we have that block.
They're going to pick it up.
They're picking it up. I'm not sure if it was on that block on there or not, but saying he got it from the front.
We mentioned the great history of Sayville teams and obviously all those Suffolk championships, the 15 of them. You had those 6 undefeated seasons, 5 Rutgers trophies. One of the cool things they did last week was for homecoming, they brought back the 1972 team as well and honored them at halftime. Quick run here, but Westhampton Beach has some success as well. All right, 3-time Suffolk champions. Their first 2 were as part of that D4, Division 4. They beat Southampton in 1980, then Miller Place in 1989, and then that 2017, led by Dylan Lalby, running around for 1,000,000 yards, beating Hills West 28-14 in that year's championship. The answer to your question for Hills West is they take on East Hampton tomorrow at 2. So again, if you want to project winners, I think Hills West will remain undefeated in that one as well. Running to the outside, trying to find something was Holohan, and he was wrapped up.
Sure, get another back in the game in Holohan, and they called him down there. Or progress stopped. Not really sure. Crowd was not happy with that.
Yeah,
kind of gotten out of that a little bit.
Yeah, Holohan's a different looking back. As you see the Messina talking to Mikey Sands, and you see Jackson there as well. So Messina to the bench, job done, right, for Kyle Messina, and you bring in a different looking back now in Daniel Holohan, more of that scat back, right, at 5'7", 160. A 3rd and 13 now.
We'll change your pace, something a little different.
He's been used a lot in specials. Triptree, oh, he's got a man wide open. That's complete. Who else? Morioni pumps the brakes as well, trying to get to the outside. That was a pretty solid tackle as well, right, by Kirshner to save things there for Westhampton. And Morioni, maybe feeling that one a little bit. And I think that's a good decision here by the coaching staff, maybe here to get him to the sideline.
I don't know if it was a double move or a little. I couldn't see if it was a hitch and go or a double move, but he was pretty open and a well-delivered ball, a catchable ball, easy to catch and run with. His night might be over. Looks like that ankle's taped a little bit, so maybe he'll get the rest of the night off.
Yeah, put the helmet down at the bench. He's now got Messina with him, his boy, as another run.
I like getting this other back a chance to run the ball a little bit,
Sure.
get another kid in the game. And, Messina's going to get a bunch of touches over the course of the season. You're hoping to play a few more weeks. And if you Sayville, so why get unnecessary hits?
And Holohan's been really good this year as well, right? I mean, obviously, Messina's going to get all the pub, right? But Holohan came into this game with 27 carries, 172 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also had a 34-yard reception, so he can catch the ball out of the backfield as well.
I think a lot of the better teams this year, Dylan, seem to have a bit of a two-headed monster, a couple different guys run the football.
And there he is again. That scat back gets himself out of bounds, and the two-way guy, we've called his number a lot, Kevin Smith, making the tackle.
Smith's been all over the place, catching passes, running with the ball, very quick. Made some good tackles at defensive secondary. Good player. And he'll be back.
He will be back.
Most of them will be back.
Yeah, the senior night ceremony won't take too long. Third and 5. Triptree fires one. That is caught. Touchdown, Sayville. Dom Letary. And that's how much it means, right? You get a guy who He's not a starter. He gets an opportunity. And Lettieri makes the touchdown catch. Here it is again, Mike.
That's what's great about high school sports, playing with your friends. You're a senior, right? And
Look at Benny Sands, the first one over, right? Making sure.
Yep. He gets to score a touchdown at home on senior night. That's really cool. That's really cool.
So Burke on to do what he does best, and he kicks the point after as well to extend this Sayville lead to 35-0.
I was just so cool. All those guys, how excited everybody was. You see the
Yeah.
sideline went crazy, and it just shows you that's what being on a team is part of, and those are the memories you make when you're on a team. Playing with your friends. Sayville's one of those towns where guys play football together when they're young, you know. And I don't know his background, but he's probably one of the boys for a long time, and he gets to score. And
he gets a huge pat there by Owen Burke as well, right?
And
he was really excited.
Because he gets to kick another extra point, Owen Burke. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
But that's really great stuff right there. That's awesome.
Some upcoming games here from us at the Varsity Media Sports Network. We switch over to the Catholic High School Football League, where More Catholic makes the trip from Staten Island out to Uniondale to take on the Terriers of St. Francis Prep. That'll be tomorrow night, 7:30 for that one. Then we go to Week 8 action, Manhasset and Plain Edge. That'll be Friday night, Saturday afternoon, New Hyde Park in Garden City. And then Saturday night, St. Peter's and Christ the King. And then Mike Hungerford, it is playoff time, the best time of year in the high school football schedule.
And you play for keeps then.
That's it, one and done.
Win and move on.
Survive.
Lose and hand your stuff in.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. It goes very fast. It's a fast season. 8 weeks already. We're in week 7 right now, week 8 next week. It's a fast season. It goes by very, very quick. And we should all enjoy it while it's here because it does seem to move at a rapid pace once you're in it. And only 8 games, a win here or a loss there can change the whole scope of a season for Sayville. It's been a whole bunch of wins in a row. So it has been for Westhampton too, and they've hit a couple bumps in the road now. And we'll see what they bring, for the rest of this game and next week.
Yeah,
they'll have improvements.
They'll have back-to-back losses after a perfect 5-0 start. But again, it's the Hills West and Sayville, as you've got a new QB in for Westhampton. That's Riley Miller. And he does exactly what Gambino does. Goes, finds Kevin Smith, and Lettieri involved there. Flags fly again.
I tackled him out of bounds a little too far. I think you're going to get a personal foul there for a late hit, tackle way out of bounds, and you're going to – it's just what it seems like. But if you're Westhampton, and the coaches, you go back and say, listen, guys, we've lost to the 2 best teams in the conference, and obviously they've demonstrated they're better than us. But how can we become the 3rd best team in the conference? Can we get to the stage and be team 3? And that puts you in the semifinals and a chance to play to get to the championship. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, you would again likely get either a Hills West or a Sayville again. You'll get them on the road, but listen, they beat East Islip, right? They're a very young team. They are punching above their weight. Not to say it's all gravy, right, from here on in, but these are fantastic experiences for this Westhampton Beach team, including there for number 21 as Schaefer. Another really good-looking run.
Oh, yeah, he's had a few good runs today. Earlier I commented I thought he kind of, bounced one a little bit and didn't really get the first down. But you see some ability right there. The last few runs, see some really good ability right there. Toughness, slashing, strength.
And what is he doing here, too, that maybe he didn't do previously? He's holding on to the football, right? He's not having those fumbles that were so costly a week ago in that loss to Hills West, 45-33.
Sure, nobody wants to fumble the football. It's just something happens, and it's some of it's physical, some of it's certainly mental. And getting his reps back in the game now to get beyond that is important.
And there you see Schaefer again. What a great looking run by the sophomore. Cuts it to the outside. And he's pulled down at about the 13-yard line.
That's a great cutback right there.
The vision, right?
Oh, yeah. I like it. Love it.
How many cuts here, right? One right there, another one here. Cuts it, bounces it to the outside. A really good looking run there by Schaefer. As now Westhampton Beach trying to at least get some points on the scoreboard.
Sure, you try to, put something on the board, get something offensively to positive. You see the Sayville guys are subbing pretty liberally on defense right now, trying to get some of the younger or reserve players some quality playing time.
Miller, incomplete. Good defense there by Luke Hansen.
Good coverage by Hansen. I think Dylan, if we're here, I think Luke Hansen's an underclassman. Right, he's a junior, having a pretty good junior year. But I think if we come back here a year from now,
yes,
we're going to be talking a lot about Luke Hansen.
I think we will.
Got a pretty bright future.
I think we'll talk a lot about Kyle Messina.
Oh, that go.
I think we'll
that
still be
goes
talking about the Sands
that
guys.
goes
We got
without
Mikey
saying.
Sands we'll be talking about.
Another Sands. There's a
Schaefer
cutback
again cuts it outside, and Westhampton Beach does, in fact, get their touchdown, an 11-yard run by Brody Schaefer.
Good edge block right there. Looked like by Kevin Smith, just getting a little piece of Lettieri to kind of warm off a little bit.
He mentions, as we take a look again, Smith, right? One had a really good block as well up the field.
That was 11. I bet there was one that was actually 11. That was actually LaRusso. Looks like got a good wall off right there at the end.
Timeout by Westhampton Beach.
I think when you start to happen is Westhampton take the timeout, or was that Sayville?
I think it was Westhampton.
They were going to kick the extra point there, right?
Listen, you need to get Schaefer's numbers going. Plus, he just ran the football.
We want to see Schaefer kick it.
Yes.
He scored, gets all 7 points.
Speaking of yes, how about the Yes Network app? Varsity Media extremely proud to be teaming with the Yes Network app to bring high school football games to even more fans. Our broadcasts are now simulcast on the Yes Network app. This one included, we showed you all that slate of games heading up, what's left of Week 7, going into Week 8, playoffs as well. We'll have them all right here in the Yes Network app.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well-known media company, and
Varsity Media is a well-known media company.
And so is the Yes Network.
Yes.
Good to be partnered with those guys. That's very good. Very cool.
I mean, listen, it's all about, right? It's all getting these games to more and more fans, and that's what the Yes Network app is helping us do.
High school football, great activity on great sport.
Nice content to have on your app.
Absolutely. Great to see these kids on TV and on the app and seen by more people.
All right, Schaefer, after that long run, he gets an attempt to get his PAT going, and he misses it. All that pressure we put on the young man. Brody Schaefer, only in his second year of playing football, former soccer guy as well. But Schaefer unable to tack on to that number, that Suffolk leading number of kicking points this year.
You got to be a little tired, right? A lot of running around. Wear on your leg a little bit, make you a little tired. So we're going to give him a pass.
Yeah, that's fair. So 35-6, your score, 5:05 remaining in this one. Sayville looking to improve to 7-0. Mike, let's revisit those keys, right? We talked about them at the start of the game. Westhampton, tackle, try to contain Kyle Messina. Pressure the QB. They have put pressure on Trip Tree. Limit our mistakes, capitalize in the red zone. I think they have limited mistakes. They've not obviously capitalized the red zone until just now. Sayville handle Westhampton Beach's motion up front. Check. blitz effectively. They've put pressure as well on Gambino. Check and ground Westhampton Beach's aerial attack. They've not gone long, right? We've seen those slants and Kevin Smith kind of going out and trying to make some moves, but I think you'd have to say all those keys for Sayville have come to fruition.
Absolutely, and I think that Sayville's, they've done a good job of making Westhampton at times very one-dimensional, taking the run away, being able to control the passing game, especially in that critical second and third quarter period. Remember, it was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, Dylan, so the second quarter and the third quarter were really dominated by Sayville, which is really, when Westhampton had the ball, they really couldn't get many successful first down plays and a lot of 2nd and 10s, 2nd and 9s, which put them in passing situations, which allowed the Sayville athletes to cover and create pressure up front. So,
Sayville's first big test of the year, you would say, right, is that rivalry game, which they won a week ago, beating East Islip 36-15. Of that game, Reed Sand says, we just wanted to make sure we could handle some of those big dudes up front, right? They always have a lot of those.
East Islip always seems to have big people. I'm very amazed by that. Big people up front.
But he thought that his team handled that well. They got low. They got underneath some of those guys. They got some double teams as a handoff on first down, and not much there for Holohan. But then they, it was a lineman game, he said, right? So we went to a little 12 personnel, some double tight. We wanted to set our guys up, set our linemen up, get the running game going, and Kyle Messina in that game was an absolute workhorse. He didn't score a touchdown, but he had 145 yards on 26 carries, which, again, set things up. Trip tree throws for, I believe it was 3 touchdowns in that one. And there you see number 20, Messina.
I saw some of Messina's highlights from that game, and I was doing some research for today, and he had some really good, didn't score, but had some excellent runs, and you could see that, the East Side, some guys did some good tackling to keep him out of the end zone at times, but he had some really nice plays.
And by the way, Jake, sorry, I shorted you one. He had 4 touchdowns. That man right there, Anthony Morioni, had 3 TD receptions on the day. 7 receptions for 86 yards and 3 touchdowns for Morioni in that big win over East Islip. Sal Champion has always got those guys going, man. What's tough for EI is you lose the Hanson Award winner, right? And those guys are just super hard to replace. Burrell was phenomenal for them a year ago. But now you could make the argument that, Sayville's got a good chance at the Hanson Award winner this year.
Yeah, I don't know if it's this year. It's definitely probably going to happen for Kyle Messina. It's just pushing him whether he's going to win it once or more than once, right?
That's exactly. It's funny. That's a great point, Mike. That's why you're the best color man in the business. That was exactly what Reed Sand said to us last year when we first saw Kyle Messina in person in that win against Westhampton a year ago. Says he thinks he could be that multiple Hanson Award winner. He thought at the time, and I didn't get a chance to ask Reed this question, but he thought at the time like he projects. He said, well, first he said he's the next big name out of, and this again, it was a freshman, a 14-year-old running the football last year, right? Kyle Messina said he thought he was the next big name, right, at Sayville. Clearly that's going to be true. But he also thought he projected more as like you could see him in his future being like a linebacker for Penn State kind of a guy rather than a guy rushing the football.
Sure, it might be. I mean, a lot of good offensive players, go to college as an athlete, and they become a change position, become a defensive player in college. Body types change. But he forced a punt right there, Westhampton. I'm not going to leave him out. Dylan, we were talking a little bit, but number 63, Connor Rogers, made a great play for Westhampton on first down, and Cook got him in long yardage. They get the ball back. We'll see if Westhampton brings out their starting offensive group, or maybe subs a little bit here as well. We'll see. With a little over 2 minutes to go at 35-6. Everybody handles the end of these game scenarios a little bit differently, Dylan. Teams always say, well, you gotta know how to win, you gotta know how to lose. I think both these coaches are really veterans of their conference, of the sport, and do a great job of winning and losing the right way.
Yeah, both they've had a similar rise, if you will, to their head coaching positions, right? Sham Lawful he's been on this Westhampton Beach team or program for 25 years. He's in his 5th year as the head coach. He was a longtime offensive coordinator, also a defense coordinator in his early days, now in his 5th year. And as you mentioned, Reed Sands as well in his 6th season after a long time as an assistant coach and the defensive coordinator for Sayville. First down run by Riley Miller. Tackle by Luke Hansen.
Looks like the Westhampton guys are sprinkled in some of their secondary group of guys and some seconds in with some of the starters. And
that's part of the problem too, Mike, is, again, you've got a smaller roster, right? So, you can't necessarily go wholesale changes and bring out a whole fresh new 11.
I'm actually pretty impressed by both these teams over Conference 3 schools. They have, I think, a decent roster, not as big as you would see maybe in Conference 1,
right,
but a decent number. But you have to be careful, giving guys too many reps or
Sure.
at this tight in the game, get guys rest, because all you need is that one injury again. It could change your entire season at this point on week 7, and every player's taken a bunch of hits already, over the course of 6 weeks going into 7. So always err on the side of caution at the end when you can.
By the way, this is a freaky stat. I'll get this to you in a minute. As Miller goes forward, we showed you that graphic earlier in the game about the last meeting between these two teams. Let's see if Brian Butler can call this one up. This is going to be freaky for you. Watch the final score of that game, dude.
Freaky Friday. It is Halloween season. There
35-6.
Here we go. Here we go.
And Messina had another big day that game. He had 3 touchdowns in that one. He shared a little bit more of the offensive load here today as the pass is incomplete. Messina's got 2 touchdowns. Morione's got 2 touchdowns, and you saw that Lettieri one as well. The Triptree's thrown for 3. Messina's got 2 that he's rushed for. So the guys that you expect to play big, and Sands as well defensively, right? The guys up front have played great, have for Sayville.
Sands is going to be one of those guys who's not going to have offensive numbers, but he plays big in the offense for his role, blocking, doing the things he's supposed to do consistently. Benny and the Jets.
Yeah, I like it.
There you go.
Miller fumbles the snap, pushes himself forward. But his numbers, Benny Sands, are actually a little bit better than you would expect. 8 receptions, 131, and 2 touchdowns this year. I think he's found the great spot as well. Franklin and Marshall will go and play his collegiate football. We mentioned as well, right? His brother Charlie currently at Endicott. So this should be the final play of this game. The Sayville guys getting ready to line up and shake hands and go to 7-0. Miller's pass is incomplete. Good pressure applied there by Michael McGinnis. And that is the end of this one. So Sayville improves to 7-0 on the season with another 35-6 win over Westhampton. And for Westhampton Beach, they are now 5-2. Consecutive losses for the Hurricanes to Hills West and Sayville, the lone 2 remaining undefeated teams in Suffolk Division 3.
Just another Friday night in Sayville. They just kind of get it done. Grind a little bit, some big plays mixed in. They just get it done.
They do get it done, and will these teams meet again in the postseason? We shall see. Sayville, you mentioned probably off of this win, right? When you look at power points, they should probably be the number 1 ranked team after Week 7 and going into a huge showdown with Hills West next weekend, Week 8 on the road for that one. Final score again, Sayville 35 and Westhampton Beach 6 for our entire varsity media crew. For my broadcast partner, Mike Hunger, for Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us. And again, Varsity Media Pass is where you want to go to get your top 10 plays. We got a few probably from this game as well. Some highlights, certainly. our podcasts, interviews, and so much more available on iOS and Android as well. So again, 35-6, your final score. Sayville improves to 7-0 on the season. We thank you for joining us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network for this Suffolk Division III matchup presented by Orland & Cone Orthopedics. For our executive producer, Ben Turchin. For our camera guys, Mike Hungerford, Ron Pierre, and Travis DeLuise as well.
I'm doing camera now, huh?
What's that?
That's great.
What did I say?
Call me a camera guy.
You do a little bit of everything, Mike Hungerford. You are the analyst, and of course, my brother from another mother, Brian Butler, as well. It's been a long night here at Sayville, but we're going to go home. Sayville, 35-6, your winners right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.